name's Dio Morales, your host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we're coming to you live from the first round of the XTC finals stage. Here we have Switzerland versus France. Super excited to be here with you, and we have a slew of commentators here because it's really early / late here in the United States. We're a little sleepy, so we figured we bring just a bunch of friends. So we have with us Tommy Adams.
Hey guys.
Kenneth Lyon.
Hello there.
And Chase Baffle.
Hello, hello.
All right, guys, so we're about to open up the Choose Your Champion betting, but before we do that, we got to start breaking down those lists. So, Chase, you're going to go ahead and take the Separatists, and Tommy, you're going to take the take the Rebellion, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the matchups, what's going on today, what is this event, and all the things happening here at the XTC. But for everybody at home, it is time to choose your champion, and of course, if you're watching on YouTube later on, you know what to do. Put it in the comments down below. Let's begin. Go for it.
All right, so we have Dom over here taking first player, flying 4 HMPs for the Separatist Alliance. First one is DGS 047 with ion missiles, cluster missiles, hull upgrade, and the repulsor lift stabilizers. Second is the generic Bactoid drone with ion missiles, cluster missiles, DRK-1 probe droids, hull upgrade, and repulsor lift stabilizers. The final two are both Geonosian prototypes with the same loadout of cluster missiles, synced laser cannon, hull upgrade, and repulsor lift stabilizers.
All right, moving on to the Rebellion.
All right. On the Rebel side, Pierre has Wedge Antilles with Crackshot and as foils. And then he has Jan Oz with engine upgrade and Moldy Crow title. Oh, yeah. And then we have Cassian Andor with Crackshot and Leia. And then the Z95, the I2, was that Bandit? Not Bandit. Yeah, it is Bandit. Okay. And yeah, don't underestimate that Z95. He does some good work in this list.
All right, so what are the upgrades that we have on that list?
Did that not come through? My bad there.
No, you're good. You're good. So you had said, Tommy, that that you played against Pierre at Worlds 2019, didn't you? You mentioned that in our pre-show.
Yes, I had Republic Aces with Naboo Anakin. He bum rushed me and killed me really quickly. One of my fastest matches that game. He knows what to do with this list, so I would not underestimate him.
And that's one of the things I actually wanted to talk about here is, you know, if he's been playing this list for a while, there's something to be said about experience, right? That not necessarily that even if it's not necessarily the top meta list, sometimes just having more playtime with a list that is what I'm going to say good enough might give you a little bit of advantage. What are your thoughts on that, Kenneth Lyon?
I mean, like, all the pieces here individually are very good. Like, the Bandit, it's solid filler, even if it's not the, you know, most flashy ship. Jan is, like, just an incredible force multiplier. Wedge, especially with Crackshot, like, he deals damage, and there's not really much you can do about it. Cassian controls the, basically the dials, keeps him open for his friends. Like, he lets Jan pull the stress before she moves, so she can use her ability and do a white maneuver the next turn and use her ability and take an action. Let's Wedge K-turn and have like a pseudo Leia effect, or just use Leia, I believe, which is in that list. So, like, the list, it hits really hard and it has a lot of flexibility. It doesn't quite have the defense of the token stacking Rebel list, but like it more than makes up for it with firepower.
All right, now if we take a moment here and look at our Choose Your Champion poll, our audience believes right now that Switzerland has a little bit of an advantage, 62 to 37% at the moment. I think some people are holding back. I know that some people like to look at that opening engage, but at least the initial numbers are favoring the Swiss. And I think the reason for that is because we have seen a lot of success of the 4 HMPs. And Kenneth, before we had gotten started in the pre-show, you had mentioned that there's only 2 4 HMP lists in the XTC final stage this weekend, but 2 very different kind of schools of thought going into it. Can you break that down a little bit for me?
Yeah, so this list is, well, obviously it's one of them, where it's 2 of the I1s, where it's 047 and an I1 generic, and 2 Geos with SLC, sync laser cannon. Like, it's solid, gets a lot of toys because it, doesn't pay for the initiative. Whereas Daniel Leone from Team USA is playing 3 Separatist Predators, which are the I3 generics, and 047. And he brought the I3s mostly just to not get initiative killed by things like Jedi Knights, Barons, other things that are like basically the I3 swarms that are somewhat common in the meta. And while there's a little bit less toys in that list, like, it's still solid and it still hits really hard. So I guess we'll see exactly which one prevails, as there's a shot at a probe droid here.
Here we go.
And Jan is boosting it.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can just get it off the board, why not? There's no other shots. Here we go. 4 dice coming in from Wedge. And that's 2 hits. Spend the focus for 3. It's going to be only 2 agility on the probe. Normally it's 3. And the probe is out of here. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what that probe does, Separatists, when they have that out there, can measure their target locks from there. They can also measure their jam actions, but it doesn't apply for this list as they don't have any jam actions.
I think that's a very nice thing to have off the board early, as you kind of stop them from getting those early locks from beyond their normal ranges.
Yeah, agree. Because right now or let's talk about the ship ability on the HMP, Chase. What is that?
So the HMPs have the networked aim ship ability, which says you cannot spend your locks to reroll attack dice. While you perform an attack, you may reroll a number of attack dice up to the number of friendly locks on the defender. Yeah, so really, really looking to use that probe droid to get those locks early.
Absolutely. Like, if you can actually be physically out of range and get those target locks before the engagement, you come in with calculates as well. You essentially have fully modified shots on multiple ships in the opening turn, because any of the HMPs can essentially use the target lock of its friends. So that's pretty awesome, and good on Pierre to get that off the board early. Now we have more bets have come in right now. It looks like we have a couple more people starting to believe in the rebellion. We're at 54% to 55% currently leading for the Swiss. There's only 1 minute left in that voting, so if you want to be a part of the Choose Your Champion betting, please feel free to go ahead and follow those instructions on the bottom of the screen. And we're getting here. Now, before we get in too far, today's broadcast is brought to you by Gold Squadron Paint Wars. If you have not watched Paint Wars, I will tell you, you are missing out. We have some beautifully painted and sculpted ships that people are creating for Gold Squadron. It's a little competition between, or not little, really. There's a competition between 3 painters from around the world. They all get a prompt, and it's been awesome. This last week, our prompt was Smaug, the last dragon of Middle-earth. And I will tell you, those decimators came out beautiful. We have some giveaways. 2 of the ships this week are from Paint Wars. We have I believe it is I'm forgetting the episode numbers because I record them in a different order than what they end up appearing for you guys. But we have one of the Dia de los Muertos ships, the Punisher, and then one of the winning ship from Mordor, which is one of our early prompts as well. We'll go ahead and take a look at those later. Also wanted to mention the XTC Hub stream that is kind of doing a red zone style stream today, and also they are doing a charity drive, which we wanted to talk about. Now, we're not taking donations on this channel for it because we want all the donations to be focused on their channel. You can type !HUB, !hub, in order to get their channel link, and they'll be talking about it there. And essentially, let me go ahead, and I was just notified about this morning, so I'm sorry if I seem a little bit unprepared. I just want to let you guys know. But we are more than happy to be a part of the effort. Give me one moment, and I'll bring that up here. So, from my understanding, the donations today are being raised for Barnaby is the young man's name, and essentially he has a blood clotting condition. And it is the son of one of the Polish players, and they are. I'm sorry again. I'm getting some of this information just kind of just today, but we will get you that more information here as we get going in the planning phase. I'll do a little bit more reading so I can get you a more concise information on that. But let's go ahead and see what's going on here. We got target locks getting set up by the HMPs, and I will tell you, these HMPs, they're so good at controlling range. So I'm not surprised to see Pierre going slow here to try to get another probe droid off the board before getting into the engagement.
Yeah. And those target locks from the I-1s going on to Wedge. Let's see if the Geos decide to follow suit or if they go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that you could have a couple different strategies there, because I don't know if you're getting enough rerolls, or if you have enough dice being thrown to have all 4 rerolls on one ship, because, yeah, it does look like he's going to split them up here.
Yeah, I think he might think he has range to the Bandit from the front ships.
Mm-hmm.
And ship, like, you kill the ship, even if it's only 22 points.
Yeah, it's points off the board, and with Jan Orris on the field, she can boost that Bandit right up to 3 dice attack too. So
yeah, like 22 points for a 3-die gun, yes please.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I know Jan Orris is like 60, but still.
All right, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about Cassian Andor, because that's a ship that we haven't seen on be part of the meta for a while. It was really popular early on with like double B wings out there. What strength does Cassian bring to a rebel squad? What are your thoughts there, Chase?
So Cassian's kind of in this cool spot, especially with Leia Organa, where he can essentially let the rest of the team do maneuvers without any drawback of them being red and giving stress. So he can, if someone wants to do a red maneuver, Leia can reduce the difficulty of that maneuver. But also, before activation even occurs, he can remove a stress to then let somebody dial in that red maneuver again. So it gives a lot of freedom as to where these ships are going to go, as opposed to, oh, he's stressed, he can't K-turn. Well, now he can.
All right. Well, we have more shots coming in. Here we go.
This is Wedge, unmodded into the probes.
One hit. Probe gone. All right, so that means that those probe droids are off the board, not going to be an issue anymore, though the HMPs were able to set up locks already, so they may have done their job just enough. And looks like Jan has a shot through the cloud here. Probably not going to do anything.
I mean, there's only the one mod from the gas cloud, so if she gets a full conversion, it might still hit, like Plinka Shield or something.
Well, you are going to spend the focus probably here for 3 hits.
Yeah, force him.
Because I don't think those HMPs have calculates.
Oh, and we're missing a die here. And no blank results rolled, so that means 2 damage right away on that yellow Bactoid.
Yeah, the HMPs use their actions to get target locks everywhere, so they don't have any calculates to change focus results.
All right, well, Cassian's going to have an opportunity to get a shot here. Range 3. unobstructed, and Janors using her ability to pump up this shot. This is going to be a 4-on-2. And just Chase, just like you pointed out, no focus results. No focus modifiers in sight for the HMPs. You got 3 hits.
Ooh.
Yeah, another thing not to be slept on is while Cassian is a support chip, he's a support chip with a 3-die gun.
And that 3-die gun just hit all 3 of those hits. That Bactoid is at half points.
Yeah, down to 3 4-holes. Sorry, because of hull upgrade.
Got him. Not gonna lie, I almost said that.
It is another thing about this list that's interesting is he chose to take hull upgrades over bombs.
Do you think maybe? So I know some HMPs players are a little bit more passive in their approach, which can make it so that a lot of the game, their backside is basically not pointed towards the enemy. They're more just kind of like strafing around and on their board edge. Maybe the thinking was, hey, I'd rather have more health than this more situational bomb, possibly.
True, but like thermal detonators, as like they're cheap, like the same points as a hull upgrade, and they give you that extra flexibility of once the scrum and all the ships spread out. Like the HMPs can only point in one direction. While they can do that really well with the full 180 arc, they still they can only point one way. So if you have a ship on one side and a ship on the other,
well, it's another 2 damage there into that HMP.
That bandit squadron doing his job.
Absolutely.
So early lead for the French right now, 0-26. Pierre Buffiere getting an early lead. Likely that yellow HMP will be taken off the board next turn. And now it's the HMP's turn to respond.
Probably go with the bandit here because there's mods.
Yep.
You got that single target lock out there.
Yeah, it also doesn't have a focus token anymore.
And I'm sorry, there's actually 2 locks out there on the Z95. You got a hit and a focus. Reroll with networked aim. You got the 2 hits.
2 hits.
Look at that.
Wow,
And
nothing for the bandit. Half points.
Green dice are kind of not around for anybody right now.
It's almost like dice mods are good.
All righty. Yeah, the green dice are sleepy. Maybe they're from the United States.
I think you just go straight back into that bandit
Try to
squadron.
take the bandit off the board.
Yeah.
Double blank on the first one. Here comes the networked aim rerolls.
Ooh.
Good conversion.
Here we go. 3 more, and
that's
a
it.
Dead bandit.
all right. So now that doesn't tie or put the Switzerland ahead. It is 22-26. But what it does do is it takes a target off the board and takes a gun away from the French here. Could you argue? And I'm putting this out as a philosophical, strategic question, that even though, Dom has lost a significant amount of health on that yellow HMP, that possibly losing that bandit squadron hurts Pierre more, even though the score says that he's ahead. Thoughts?
Given that all the damage went to that Z95 and it didn't go to the important ships in Wedge, Janors, or Cassian. And knowing, if you don't take Wedge off the board, he deletes ships, very efficiently. So Wedge probably initiative kills yellow next turn. Cassian with a Janors boost, or even Wedge with a Janors boost, can just tear through that squad without, the bandit. It's great to have, but let's be honest, it's a filler ship. Whereas that HMP that just took 7 damage is a full quarter of the Separatist list.
Yeah, I think the Pierre's. I would think he's happy right here because the bandit Squadron essentially did its job. It came in, did 2 damage, and it's 22 points. It died. But now the rest of the ships are still full health, and he's almost completely taken out one of the other side's HMPs, and it's still ahead for it.
And like,
So-
imagine that 4 damage went into Cassian.
Mhm.
Like that is much more impactful damage than into the Bandit, I think.
All right. Well, everybody at home, this is the XTC on GSP. Another reminder again that you can watch the XTC Hub by typing !hub and get the link to that. Wakken Gaming, and they are doing a little kind of red zone style stream. Of course, we'd love to have you here, but if you wanted to see some more of the action happening, you know, you can head over there. And when we are done with this round, after we do our giveaways, we'll actually be participating over there just a little bit. Alrighty, so it looks like, well, the HMP's stepping on the gas here. What are we thinking about the positioning here, guys?
Well, Jan can't really get at that guy without rotating her arc, which she doesn't want to do. So I like that, to keep the injured one where the rebels almost certainly aren't going to go.
And the nice thing here, too, is it's keeping, assuming it stays alive, it's keeping its lock out there on Wedge, so even though it might not necessarily get a shot, it's still helping to give all the other HMP mods.
Very true.
Quick shout out here to Pifo IT. Thank you, Filippo, for resubscribing with that Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. We want to remind you guys that if you want to sub to this channel for free and you got Amazon Prime, you can do that every 30 days absolutely for free. ! Prime for a little video on how to get it set up. They've changed it to Prime Gaming. That's what it's called, but the steps from that video are exactly the same, just a little bit different vocabulary. And thank you to everybody who has. Remember, we have those sub goals there. As we reach them, we got awesome giveaways that we'll be showing off after the round. But here we go. Cassian moving in here with the 1 left bank. Should, yes, does have the red HMP in arc. So we'll see if that ends up being the target.
Yeah, let's see what Jan did, because I'm curious. Because if Jan goes, here, then Wedge probably can't do anything without bumping. Unless Jan boosts.
One thing of note, I do really like these cluster missiles on the HMPs here, because that means they can use the lock on the ones they have locked, attacking them with the initial primary attack, and then switch over to the other 2's locked ships and still get full mods on them via the networked aim.
And like Blue has that lock on Cassian. Cassian's got a big bubble for range 1 for that clusters.
And another shout out here to Romer DS for gifting a sub to the channel. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. So Jan, focus, rotate. Looks like
I think Jan just rotated. I don't think she focused because she wants to stay unstressed for her ability.
Oh, you are correct. Yeah, the focus was a carryover from the Moldy Crow. And there is a bump there.
That's going to be unfortunate.
Yeah, because it looks like no one has a shot on the injured HMP. And it has a shot on Wedge.
Will Jan have a shot out the side?
Maybe.
It'll be close. I mean, he purposely decided not. I mean, so I think the decision there was maybe for the ability more than for the shot.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't go to the back.
Yeah, boost up Cassian's shot.
Well, here is our first one. This is Wedge firing. Just a single crit.
It's a shield off red.
Looks like we're getting now a check from Jan, and there is arc on that yellow Bactoid.
Range 2.
Are you willing to spend the focus there? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Did red get shot last turn?
I don't know. I'm looking at their board state, and I don't remember red getting shot, but right now it does have 3 shields down on our board.
Yeah, it looks to me like he thought Wedge had a focus and just took the 3 damage.
We have
It's a
big 4-die shot here from Cassian, and all 4 of those are going in. And a reminder to our audience, very hands-off stream. We're gonna give them a moment because they might end up figuring it out.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think they figured it out. Well,
No.
Yep, we gotta see if we can catch a judge here.
Because that would be a removing. Well, it has 1 health left, so they're not removing it yet, which is good.
Yeah. But that direct hit wouldn't have been a direct hit. It would have been something else.
Yeah.
Yep. This is bringing into, assuming Jan, or I'm sorry, Cassian.
Yeah, given there was a reroll, probably Cassian.
Just a single crit. And gets his invade.
Yeah, this Geo doesn't have range for a double cluster, so it probably shoots the sync lasers at Cassian, is my guess. Maybe at Wedge.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to try to focus fire.
Yeah, I like the shooting at Wedge here.
I think I agree.
Yeah. 2 locks, you get 3 shots on Wedge, maybe take him out.
Yep, and you do have passive rerolls from, like the locks, like you said.
Just a note to our audience, we did put out the judge call. That's all we can do at this point, so we're going to update the overlay to match what they have on the table, and if there's a change, we'll let you know.
You only use 1 reroll?
It looks like you shot Cassian.
And gets his natty evades.
Yep.
Did they catch it?
So Wookie Barber in the chat asking if there's a scoreboard with all the results per round. I don't think so. There is the challenge from the group stages, but I don't think anyone's updating it because all the people who were updating it during groups are playing.
Looks like we've got a pause here.
Yeah, the judge is in the room.
Great.
The judge is in the room. And we'll see whatever their resolution is what their resolution is. And also, per XTC rules, that timer, I mean, we do the same thing here at GSP, is that the timer just kind of keeps rolling. And also, they did note in the player meeting that, you know, mistakes like this, because it is a timed event, timed team event, you know, missing something like that could just mean that it is what it is as they continue. It is, yeah, vitally important to try to keep those game state things correct as you're going. And I think you guys are right. I think there was an assumption that there was a focus out there, and
yeah. So when shield's down, when it should have just been 1 shield.
And it's a 3 damage swing, right? Is yes. what that mistake ends up being.
3 damage swing and a different crit.
Yes.
So, like, if that crit, again, is a weapons failure or a blinded pilot, is pretty huge.
Looks like they're just going to continue on as is.
Looks like.
All right, the judge is communicating with me now. Looks like they're asking the question.
And I guess this is where we get to point out to everybody that don't be afraid to call a judge if you think something is wrong with the game state.
Yep.
Like, even at the highest level, people make mistakes.
That's what? No. No. No, not allowed.
I never.
I expect
you're right. There was a
perfection.
time where I thought I was wrong, but it turns out I was mistaken.
All right, so it looks like they did end up correcting it. The resolution that was decided on the crit was that the direct hit will end up staying, but the 2 damage that was initially put in there by mistake will be added on, so that DGS 47 is at 3 hull at this point.
Great. I believe this is yellow into Jan or wedge.
Oh, into wedge.
Into wedge. Takes 1 shield.
Yep. Ooh, and there can be some cluster missiles here.
Yeah, we might see that fun double cluster.
And 047 is red, so it starts at wedge and then probably ping pongs to Cassian, maybe to Jan.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh.
And here's where the network game comes back to bite him, because he can't spend the lock to reroll all 3. He can only reroll 2.
Just
You can
one.
spend calculate. Yep.
So it's going to be 2 hits and a blank out.
Ooh.
Half on
Shield.
wedge.
Oh, that's right. These aren't T70s, Chase. What are you thinking?
What is this?
That's like all I play, so.
Chase rolls up, but is it a T70? That's my question. All right, here's a second shot off that. Networked aim, and this one is going to be landing a hit and a crit looking at Cassian, and there's a single evade rolled there. So it's going to be a
Cassian
shield.
took like 12 dice, and damage there is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Half on wedge is big, though.
Oh, yeah.
Especially versus these 1 agility ships. You want Wedge to be coming in there and just sweeping up, right? Like, all right, we're just going to kill you. We're just going to kind of kill you. But if he goes down early, that could be a problem. Right now,
And to
current
that
score.
extent, like,
Go for it.
sorry, I was just going to mention that Wedge hasn't had an action for the past 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
And like that whole judge call stemmed from him not having an action for that focus. Because if he had that focus, that's 3 extra damage. Or 2 extra damage, I mean.
100%. Our score right now does reflect how tight this game is. Currently, Switzerland 51, France 50. So we have a difference right now of a single point. This is gonna come down to the wire, and I think this next turn is really going to matter. That smart move of getting the yellow HMP kind of around the corner now creates a distraction on the outside, and if Pierre ignores it as well, it ends up being just a ship that is getting uncontested shots that is close to death, but it doesn't really matter that it's close to death because it's not being shot.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, one thing I'm noticing is 047 forgot his ability.
What is that?
Actually, because it's after you perform an attack, you may acquire a lock on a defender if it's in your front arc. If it's in your bullseye, it gains a strain token. And he shot Wedge, which is where his lock was, and then he shot Cassian. So Cassian should have a strain because Cassian was in 047's bullseye. But it's an optional ability, I believe.
Yep.
I don't think the strain is optional. Because it says then if the defender is in your bullseye, it gains 1 strain.
I think if you move the lock, if it's in your bullseye,
yeah.
I see what you're saying. So the lock is the activation of the strain, essentially.
Yeah, so like if he may not have forgotten it, he may have just chosen to leave the lock on Wedge.
Mm-hmm. One thing I just noticed, though, is we have the stabilizers on the HMPs, red and yellow, are both in side slip mode.
Yep.
Versus green and blue both in the straight position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
and like yellow, that's not super great for, but red now has to decide like where he wants to go and what is Cassian doing, because Cassian still has Leia active.
Mhm.
So
Just stop.
I mean, he might, because he moves after all of these HMPs. So if he stops, he gets to just point at whichever one he wants.
Yep.
That's right. I mean, that flexibility is pretty awesome. I mean, that kind of looks at the HMPs, their side slips, and says, you know, I got that trick too, actually.
I don't even have
Turns
to move
out.
when doing mine.
That's right.
And he even makes his health profile very similar to an HMP with 1 agility on 8 health.
Mm-hmm.
And there is the Leia charges flipped.
Yep.
Here we go. We're going to see some side slippage from yellow there at the top of the board. And it is always interesting. I don't think it's going to happen here, but it is always interesting when Rebel players activate Leia in order to get an overreaction from players. I don't think we're getting that from Dom,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, you have to start adding branches to the possibility in that mental tree of what could happen.
Yeah. Like I will fully admit to have been like fallen victim to that trap of they pop Leia. I go, oh, I'm going to block your 4K. I'm going to do all this things. And they just go one forward and kill me.
Yep, I was
Yep.
gonna say someone has definitely done that to me. I'm like, oh, I know exactly how to go against that, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh no, I don't.
It was definitely a like outmaneuver wedge that got me too. I was just like, oh no. Yep, there's the stop.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to end up being a white stop because of Leia. Did we get a... no, we didn't get a flip of the configuration. Doesn't make any sense because all the ships are right in front of you. So, hey,
Yep.
look. Gets to keep the agility. Looks like
Use
we're getting a
coordinates
coordinate.
Wedge.
All right, and this is the actions that we've been missing from Wedge.
Ooh, I think I know what Wedge is doing. I think
Barrel
Wedge is
roll?
doing a Talon roll or a 4K after this barrel roll. Maybe try to kill yellow.
I like it. Could also just do
Was
it
gonna
too
s-
hard. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's not a bad move either.
Stop from Jan.
And that's going to be white. So still gets an action.
She's looking at that target log. I think she might try to pop red, who's in her front arc.
There's the lock.
'Cause-
Where's it going? That tells you the target.
Yep.
And good call there, Kenny.
Yep. Because let's not forget, Janor is a support ship, but she has a 3-die gun.
I support
And-
you, but I also kill you. And there is the hard 2. Wedge is saying no more from you, little HMP. We're going to stop
He
that
has
right
a
now.
focus.
Bye bye, Mr. Roomba.
Honestly, from Wedge, I kind of would have liked a target lock there over the focus. Mostly just so you have guaranteed mods on all 4, maybe 5 of your dice.
Good point. Good point. So this is going to be a 4-on-1. You got to get the average here in order to take it off the board.
I believe it's 4-on-0 because it's Wedge.
Yep.
Sorry, 4-on-0, yes. And there it is. Got the guarantee. Yellow HMP down.
Yeah, and that's why I would have liked to see a target lock. There was a lot of blanks there.
I wonder if he should have waited on that focus spend.
I don't
Or
know
did he need
why,
to take it out?
because they have hull upgrades. They have 6 hull.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Caught me again.
Got him. Put the whole upgrades in the chat, guys. All right, hit
Hull
crit.
upgrades do that. Like, I was playing a Soontir with a hull upgrade, and someone shot him, did 3 damage, because naturally, and they thought he was dead because he's Soontir. So they moved on to veteran turret gunner, the Vader that was sitting right next to him. He's like, oh, yeah, Soontir's still alive, by the way.
So we did just see DGS take a hit crit from Jan Ors here. Well, the crit is a damaged engine.
Ooh. And this is where we get to flex our rules knowledge, where damaged engine does not affect side slips.
Witness me. There it is, updated there. Down to 1 hull. Can Cassian finish it off?
Are we gonna have like a 5 dice attack, right?
Yep.
I think.
I mean, that is a we are leaving nothing to chance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's also no reason not to, because Jan hasn't used her ability, and Cassian makes it essentially a free per round, because he just uses his ability to pull the stress and activation.
And does it. Was able to slip one through. And DGS 47's off the board as well. We have now a 51-98 score here. France leading.
Yeah, that's a huge swing for an HMP list to lose half of its firepower in one turn without shooting.
And they really, I think we only saw one cluster, double cluster go off there, and that's a lot of ordnance to not really use.
Yeah. And the 2 target locks are both on Cassian. So while blue has a cluster on Jan and Cassian, it's only going to have mods for the Cassian shot for rerolls.
So green HMP is deciding on its target here. And in the next planning phase, I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about how the scoring per round works. Just in case anybody here doesn't know what's going on today, we are streaming but one of 6, right? 6 matchups happening between Switzerland and France right now.
7.
There's 7 games? I thought there was what? Oh, there's because one for faction.
7
right.
factions.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, there
So
are
RC
10
clusters.
games per round being streamed. Are we seeing clusters, or are we seeing a sync laser cannon?
That's a good question. I know he checked specifically the front arc, so. But
I mean, it's the same number of dice. Yeah.
It wasn't clear, but it doesn't do any damage.
So if we see another attack, it might be
The front arc only had Cassian, so.
right. Oh, he did spend a charge on clusters there, so.
Doesn't make sense because it was range 2 and you have a Geo prototype with a sync laser cannon. Kind of why you brought the SLC.
Another cluster shot here from blue.
All right.
Here we go. 3 dice. We got 1 hit, 2 focuses. We got some networked aim reroll action. And you were able to convert there for a crit.
Spends the calculates.
Got 3.
With that calculate spend, though, the cluster shot into Jan Ors now has no mods.
Natty's out. Only takes 1 more into shield.
Cassian looking strong right now.
Mhm.
Second shot here from the cluster. 2 hits.
Ooh,
And both
there's a
of those
blank
are
out
going to
from
be
the
going
rolls.
through on Jan.
I mean, he's keeping up on a little bit of the damage. It's kind of spread out, but that's what you expect with cluster missiles.
Yeah.
But Jan is 1 away from half, and Cassian would be 2 away.
Yep.
So
And these HMPs are still full health, and they got some chunk on them. So
only thing is Wedge is now going to be coming from behind.
We got a question here from Something Wicked asks, why is Cassian stressed? Cassian this turn did do a coordinate action, which is red on that action bar. 2 Wedge gave him a barrel roll in order to be able to swing out that hard 2 and take out the yellow HMP that was previously there. So let's talk about how the event is structured. So right now, like we had mentioned, there are 7 games happening with each team versus each other. Kenneth, if you can kind of give me an idea of what's happening this weekend and how is the champion of the XTC being decided?
Okay, so the tournament is structured. There are 10 teams, the top 10 from the group stages, and it's a round-robin tournament. So because there's 10 teams, that means there's 9 rounds to get every team to play every other team. There are 10 streamers covering the event, so 2 games per pairing of teams will be streamed for you guys to go watch for your viewing pleasure. But the finals, after all those 9 rounds, 5 today, 4 tomorrow, are played. You take a look at the win rates or win records for the teams. So like, let's just say there's a team that somehow goes 9-0. They win because they're the best. But in a more likely scenario where there's a huge 3 or 4 way tie at 6-3, then you take the team with the best individual wins. So if one of those 6-3 teams has 25 individual wins and the other one has 45, team with 45 wins.
All right, so we did get some reporting in here from the chat. We have Tommy Adams just kind of doing some leg work out there. He's having some trouble with his microphone, so happy to have him helping. So right now in the Germany versus Singapore matchup, we have one game already over. We had Germany table there, the Singapore Separatists 200-0, friends. And the other game right now, Germany versus Singapore, that's on stream, looks like Germany is ahead there already, 151-30, starting to lock up a 2-0 lead in that in that matchup. Now we are going to try to compile a scoreboard for you guys as we are going here, and I'm sure that the stream hub, the main hub, is doing that as well as we're going on, and we'll kind of try to keep track of all the action as things are going. All right, Jan,
I believe Germany lost to Singapore in groups, didn't they?
That I'm not entirely sure of, but I mean it's completely possible. There was a lot of ups and downs in those stages for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to say Resistance best faction, tabling, Separatist. Clearly, they're the best.
Chase over here being like, I'm not going for a team. I'm going for a faction.
Yep, exactly.
Clearly, you have not experienced the joys of playing Jedi. So allow me to introduce you to the true best faction, the Republic.
That actually reminds me of a fantastic. Have you ever seen like the used car salesman meme? Like a buddy of mine did one of those, but with the Delta 7B. It's like a Delta 7B meme alt art. Take a look at this one.
Yeah, you slap it on the hood. Look how many shields you can fit on this boy.
Exactly.
Megan Silver saying Singapore Resistance 30, German Republic 200.
Yeah, the Republic beating the Resistance.
They felt pity, They're like, we know you need a win. Here you go.
Looks like Jan has no shot out the front, so she's got 2 range 1s out the side.
I don't know if Wedge has arc on anybody.
Well, I don't think so, given he didn't shoot.
See a shot.
Checking Jan.
Yeah. That's kind of scary.
Well, yeah, if these HMPs can take Jan Ors off the board, it would be a couple steps towards maybe getting a victory here.
Well, and Cassian will also have no shots here because he's bumped into blue.
So Jan Ors firing at the blue Geonosian, and you got 2 hits. No rerolls there for Jan. 1 die on agility, and both of those are going through.
Plinks into the shields. But now I think this could be a big swing here.
Time to respond.
Yeah, because green has a cluster into both, and blue just has a range 1 shot into Jan.
Yep.
So this could leave a mark.
It will be unmodified, because I believe the lock is on Cassian.
It is.
Oh.
Hit crit
Good
focus.
start though.
Everything's fine.
Jan still has a focus.
Let's see. Evade focus
Yep.
was the roll spent in order to block both of those. Here comes the second shot.
Cluster missiles. Starting at Cassian.
And that's just going to be one hit to get started.
2 rerolls from networked aim.
Only ended
That's
up
a
with
convert.
2. 1 damage. Everyone matters.
Cassian though bleeding real slow.
Yep.
We'll see if the second shot into Jan ends up doing something more.
Oh.
Single crit. If it gets through though, that's under the shields. But no.
Not today.
So we have both Cassian and Jan 1 away from half.
Now the wedge coming up from behind these HMPs. Those HMPs are looking a little scared right now.
Yep. And looking at it, blue has his stabilizers in the side slip position, and green is in the straight position.
Yeah, and I don't really have great places to go with those options.
Mm-mm. Blue, I guess, could go to the right.
True, but it is stressed, and like the 2 side slip to the right might block him onto that rock.
Yeah. That's tough. And it would also put him in a position where green now has less options.
Yeah.
Unless he moves green first and then bumps blue into green.
Solid plan.
I like it. Some tactical bumps. Always a fan. So anybody who's just joining us, we are watching the XTC final stage. This is round 1 of 5 that we'll have in this broadcast. Then we'll be back tomorrow, again around 3 a.m., to bring you the last 4 rounds. There's a total of 9 in order to determine who's a champion. It's a 10-team round-robin tournament. So there's not going to be a final table per se. Unlike the clear final table will be if we have some teams that are maybe tied with a clear gap in between all the other teams, and you know those 2 teams end up meeting in the last round. It's unlikely.
Yeah, like if Ireland and US both go 8-0,
exactly.
then they're playing round 9.
Exactly. So right now, players are setting those dials. Looks like the HMPs are set. Rebellion just double checking a couple things right now. Looks like Cassian is the question at the moment. Has to decide what it wants to do. 2 of the 3 Leia charges are up, so we're not going to see Leia quite yet. But I think the next coming of Wedge is going to be the big story. In this upcoming round for sure.
Yeah, especially since only having 1 evade dice on those HMPs. Whatever he rolls, he's just doing that damage.
He brought HMPs, not decimators, and yet Wedge says, I don't care.
You didn't know? You didn't know that you could die? All right,
so green stopping.
Go ahead. Go
ahead. Green stopping, taking a stress, but blue does the 3 hard to the right, which moves him up that way.
It
But
also
in reverse.
hits him the gas cloud and keeps that stress. So no action for blue for like 2 or 3 different reasons. And Cassian's out of there.
So it seems like Pierre's kind of looking at it as a blessing, saying, you know what? I've been able to to keep Cassian alive very well the last couple turns. We're going to make that range 3 and probably just flip it around next turn because we'll have Leia charges full up.
Yep.
Wedge closing his wings. Or actually, it may have been him opening them because it looks like the card and the model is desynced.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going by the token.
Yeah.
I have them both open on my side. It's all open.
Yeah, so it might just be me then.
Nope, I'm desynced too.
All right. Well, it's full attack position here. 5 dice. Trying to put in some pain here on that green HMP. What do you get? 2 hits and
fire.
a crit. 1 fell out the box.
Hot fire.
Jesus, Wedge.
We call that
It's just a
calientito.
droid.
You
It's just a poor little droid.
I think you spend that focus.
Oh yeah,
He's-
you spend it every day of the week.
Yeah, like you get that in and you deal as much damage as possible. He
I
does
think
not
he's
spend.
deciding not to. He might think it's a little greedy, saying, "You know what? I'm going to take the 4 and have something for defense."
Oh, that's right. The only locks on Wedge were the I-1 locks, and they're both dead.
Mm.
So there's no locks on Wedge anymore.
And that's a council fire there on that HMP.
Still not half, because the whole upgrade.
Redemption. All right, we got that council fire up there, and here's the next shot. Janor's
Which one did blue?
With the strain.
Didn't get it.
But
Clears the
not
strain.
spending the focus.
Yep.
Maybe the thought there was, I can't kill green this turn, and maybe try to take advantage of the strain if you would have rolled the hits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Try not to give up points as well.
All right. Here come the HMPs. They're marching back. Let's see if they can do something about it.
Does he remember the SLCs? Because he was looking at those clusters.
Sync laser cannon, 3-die attack cannon that's equipped to both of those HMPs.
Yep, and here it is in the Cassian.
Range 3.
Got 2. Networked aim re-roll. The digging for 3. Not going to get it. Spend
There's
focus,
at
I'm
least
assuming
one.
here.
It's going to be half, even if he spends.
Yeah.
And there you go. Wedge, a half points, takes that card. Another report in here from Mega Silver, from Tommy Adams. Singapore down here. Another round. Empire loses Germany 200 for the Rebels to the Empire's 32. Right now, it looks like Singapore is going down fast. 3 games to what seems like 0 right now. Big advantage for Germany.
Here's the console fire roll.
No damage.
No damage. Although this is green, and green only has the single charge on its cluster missiles because it spent a cluster missile a few turns ago without a double tap.
And it does
So-
have Cassian in range 2.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Because that could have been 2 shots into Jam, but now it's just going to be the 1.
So we got the sync laser cannon, 2 hits looking at Cassian, and both of those are going in. You're at least getting some damage. Cassian down to 2.
They accidentally turned off the black hole.
Oh no. I didn't know you could pick up black holes. That cannon.
Super gravitational power.
So it looks like Cassian had to re-roll because he rolled too many dice, so he got an evade there.
Okay.
So he's 2 still, right?
So 3 damage from, or 3 health left on Cassian.
Got it. In.
Man, this crack shot on Wedge just gonna get a lot of use this game with the no agility he's shooting into.
Yep.
You know what? It could do something at range 3.
True.
It's true.
Right? You gotta save it for later. That's all good.
Yeah. Although Cassian also has a crack shot, and depending on where blue and green end up, if he just spins around, that might line up.
Yeah, I mean, I think we almost. Well, it'd be hard for green to do a bank here. Bank to the right, because Jan might block him up.
Well, green really wants to clear his stress to not have a console fire active.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any blue banks.
Yeah, they kind
Maybe
of
we see
force
the
into
two
the hard
hard.
turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he side slips to the, does a 2 hard right, which side slips him essentially backward.
Mm-hmm.
And then blue just does like a 1 forward.
Quick shout out to Sticks999. Thank you so much for the sub. 32 months in a row. Thank you so much. All right. We have 12 minutes left on the clock. Switzerland right now within distance of France, 82.98. We'll see if he can actually try to gain some ground here. Taking out Cassian would be massive. But the Rebellion is in a good offensive position.
And he's still only 1 away from half on Jan.
And 12 minutes left. Oop, there's the layup pop.
Pop. Are we actually going to get the Cassian turn, or is he going to disengage? What do we think?
I think you turn it because you do have initiative on them.
Yeah.
All right, there's the side slip. That'll clear the stress on the green HMP.
And he's moving the lock.
He's going to switch to wedge.
Probably.
So is blue going to do a 2 hard here as well? Yep. That might block up wedge.
It might, but if Cassian can just, coordinate him.
Mm-hmm.
We got another result in here. Peru beats the United States here. First U.S. Game put in here. The Peruvian First Order 200 over the United States Empire 97. And there's the rotate from the U-Wing.
Spins it around.
Taking the focus.
And the stop there from Jan Ors as well. Remember, these are white maneuvers because of the Leo Organa crew being carried currently by Cassian Andor.
And honestly, looking at it, I don't think bumping is bad for wedge, even if he would have hit blue, because that's still a big shot in the green he's going to get. But
I don't think Wedge is taking any shots here.
No.
Not contributing to the offense either with that K-turn bumping.
Under goes into green.
It's going to keep focus firing over there. There is a council fire still on that green Geonosian prototype. Janor's 3 dice, got double focus, willing to spend 1 of 2 being carried from Moldy Crow. So guaranteed 1 damage, 1 for the HMP, got the squiggle, single damage. That's half points.
Yep. But, I mean, that's like a 4-die shot from Cassian. It might take it out.
Range 3. Looks like he's still going to do it.
All right, here's the next shot. 2 hits and a crit coming in from Cassian.
It's a guaranteed crit.
That and a little bit more.
Yep. This is a direct. I think he's dead.
Not quite. It is a stunned pilot.
Well, I don't think he's hitting the rocks. So.
Yeah. And there's also that console fire that might take him out.
Mm-hmm. Would still get to shoot, though.
Yes.
We're going to find out here in a second. Remember, console fire, you roll a die on a hit, take a damage. That's currently on the green HMP. 3 out of 8 chance. Here we go. And safe for now.
It means the Rebels are going to have to put another shot into it to take it out.
Mm-hmm. Range 2 into Cassian, range 1 into Jan. Let's see which one he chooses.
I think he has the front arc on both, so that's 3 into whichever one he chooses.
And deciding
like
to
he's
go
going
at
Jan.
Jan.
Wants to get that half points.
Yeah.
One crit. Has a target lock out there for networked aim. Able to convert for a hit. So you got 2. Jan will be taking a crit under the shields.
Half points.
That is a damage engine.
Not what Jan likes to see.
Not at all. And now Blue has a choice here, too. I think you keep going into Jan.
Yeah, I mean, you brought her all the way down to 2 hull.
Yeah.
You got network dam on her.
Here's the roll. Looking for a big hit here. Only got 1. So guaranteed. Oh, hit crit.
Blank out kills Jan.
Not today,
Not
but it is a
get it.
crit.
Direct hit.
No, you called it.
Oh, no.
You spoke it into existence. Janor is taken out with a direct hit.
Sorry, Pierre. Wow. I think this means Wedge has to get back in this fight.
Yeah.
This next turn. He's got to do his K-Turner Talon roll.
So that puts Dom from Team Switzerland ahead, 141 to 124.
Wow.
So if he trades Cassian for that green HMP, is he still ahead?
That'd be an extra 30 points for Switzerland, and it would be another 25 for Pierre. So Switzerland would still be ahead.
There's only 6 minutes left.
Getting a couple more scores here from Tommy. France wins their scum matchup, 200 to 105 here. Looks like Italy wins their rebellion matchup versus Spain as well. By the way, if you have not seen our new content release schedule, you can type !schedule to see it. I made it all pretty for y'all so you can see everything that's going on here at GSP. We got some type of content every single day for you. Every day. So if you crave that X-Wing, Star Wars, and Paint Wars action, this is the place to be. Thank you, everybody who has joined us. Again, !schedule. If you're ever wondering, when do you get your next GSP fix? You have your answer right there.
Did you see what they did in chat there, Dion?
I
Game chat, sorry.
I did not. Oh,
They right-clicked.
Yes, yes. The dice locks. I think that's the third time they've done it.
Oh,
like,
really?
In the middle of the game.
Yeah, the dice stats, I find them unhelpful outside of very specific circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just because a lot of things come down to, like, yes, your dice were bad, but if you had a focus token or you had a target lock or whatever,
Exactly.
they would have been good.
But Kenneth, the number.
Get yourself some actions, then complain to me about your dice.
Yeah, so here Pierre has to essentially take out green Geonosian prototype without losing either of his ships.
Yeah, it looked like he flipped the console fire on green.
And here we go. We got Cassian turning the wings as well. By the way, somebody had asked if Wedge was stressed previously. Remember, last turn was a Leia turn, so that was a white K-turn attempt, even though he bumped. And here is the T-roll. This will be red. Looks like William Hagewood of Team USA does win his game versus the Resistance, 200-94.
Go Will.
So no chance to take out green here. Means he has to put on half onto blue.
It is Wedge. That is sort of his thing.
And there's 2 hits. Single
Good start.
die because of range, and looks like both of those are going through on the blue Geonosian.
So he needs Cassian to get the half
Yep.
points because of that whole upgrade.
Oh, full string there.
Cassian can't play.
All 3 of those are going through.
Alright, now Cassian or Wedge just needs to survive the shots coming in from blue.
All right, here we go. Next shot.
No mods on the attack, though, I believe.
Here's the roll. And double focus.
That's it.
Unfortunate.
Yep, no mods.
I think right there, not being able to get any damage on that one is going to end up locking it up for France, I think.
Yeah,
If
most
they can
likely.
get dials fast, then they'll get one more round, but they only got a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem here is that Wedge is still alive, and both of those Geos are on 1 and 2 health, respectively.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, Cassian can just stop. Like, even if Leia's not active, like, just be in the way. Maybe get a shot.
Yeah, and if they trade another Geonosian prototype for, even if they trade for Wedge or Cassian, it still leaves France ahead.
Yeah.
All right, and yep, this is going to end up being our last turn. Time will expire here. On the global timer, there's 6 minutes and change left on there.
Yep. And a note, like, unlike most tournaments, because we mentioned this earlier, this is a team tournament, MOV really doesn't matter in this event because the first tiebreaker is individual game wins, and the second is the head-to-head match in case of a tie. And MOV is third, so it almost never comes down to MOV. So in this case, running away to save points doesn't actually get you anything if it doesn't get you the win.
looks like dials are set. And here we go. Got that swivel on the outside. 2 turning left, trying to keep that arc pointed in the direction where wedge is going. Trying to set yourself up for a win.
Takes a lot on the wedge.
I mean, the win condition is wedge, you know, whiffs on the attack, and you don't. You get those 3 hits, maybe take them out. And
also Cassian whiffs on his attack.
Yep. Oh, because he did end up stopping. Yeah, so that's going to be an HMP sandwich.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
But it can happen. You set yourself up for success.
Takes the focus.
Wedge would need to roll all blanks pretty much here.
Go. That Geonosian has 2 hits. Sorry, it's 2 hole left. 2 hits will end it. Typo with the sub before the 4 dice roll, and there's the guarantee. Wedge takes him out, and that's the ball game, everybody. So final score after getting that blue HMP off the scoreboard here, we have 141 to 175. France getting this round. Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, and Row 6, our Grand Admiral patrons, and all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members. Thank you so much for your support. Gold Squadron out.